Did you know that the average price for a gallon of regular grade gas right now is about $3.57, which is expected to rise in the coming months? That means in order to fill up a car with only a 12-gallon capacity, which is quite small, costs a little over $40. So imagine if you had one of those big, huge gas-guzzling trucks that holds 30 or 40 or even more gallons, or even if you have to put premium gas in your car. As you can imagine, they can get pretty expensive. Mopeds are an effective way to get around town that costs very little to fill up and are low maintenance, not to mention fun to drive. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of mopeds and why you should own one for yourself. Mopeds have been around since the end of the 1940s. After World War II was over, people needed a cheap, practical way to get around since they could not afford cars or even motorcycles with the post-war economy. And thus the first mopeds were born. First models look more like bicycles than what we see with today's models. The word moped actually comes from the words motor and pedals being put together. Most of the early mopeds had a two-stroke engine that was less than 50 cubic centimeters, which is very small, and they didn't go very fast. A few of the early models, such as ones by the company Velsolex, actually had the motor mounted above the front tire. Today, however, most engines are located under the seat and connected to the back tire and come in a variety of sizes, such as 150cc, 250cc, and on up. Now that I've told you a little bit about the history of mopeds, I'm now going to tell you why you should own one for yourself. The first and foremost reason is because they are affordable and cheap to fill up. You can buy a brand new moped for a little over $500. The high-end models, such as ones by Honda, Yamaha, and Vespa, can cost up to a few thousand, which is still pretty cheap for such a reliable vehicle. Most 50cc mopeds hold roughly a gallon of gas, which can get you about 100 miles before you have to fill up again. So instead of costing upwards of $30 to $40 and even higher to fill up, mopeds right now can be filled up for a little over $3, which is chump change. This makes them perfect for towns such as Clemson, where everything is such a close drive away. Imagine you live about 2 miles from campus. That means on a full tank of gas you can go to and from campus roughly 25 times before you have to fill up again. That's efficient if you ask me. Another reason you should own a moped is because of their convenience when it comes to parking on campus. I know from self-experience that driving a car on campus can be a pain in the butt. You have to find a parking spot, which can take forever due to the limited amount of spaces around here. Then you have to worry about catching the cat bus at the right time or walking all the way to class, whichever one you do daily. Having a moped, I can drive right up and park directly in front of the building my class is in most cases. This makes it very convenient and less of a hassle getting to class. And this also means you can sleep in later since you don't have to worry about finding that long-lost parking spot. The last reason you should own a moped is the fact that they're, well, just plain fun to drive. With spring here comes nice, warm, sunny weather, and who doesn't like to be outside enjoying it? You can hop on your moped and go for a ride around town. It's that easy. Having the sun shining down and the cool breeze blowing on you as you ride and the feel of the open road around you, what's not to love about that? In conclusion, mopeds are an effective way to get around town that costs very little to fill up and are low maintenance, and not to mention fun to drive. I've told you a little bit about the history of mopeds, the cost of filling up, how convenient parking is here on campus, and how much enjoyment you can get out of them. So next time you're walking by a row of mopeds that are right outside your class building after trekking all the way from the pit or from the west end zone, think, man, I should really get me one of those. Thank you.